When we observe the standard cycles of the sun and the moon, we see a continuous, predictable celestial rhythm. We build our internal routines around this steady celestial light. It offers a reliable, stable backdrop for our daily emotional and psychological growth. In astrological language, this standard energetic flow is highly harmonic. Systems operate smoothly, and our habits move forward with minimal friction. However, if a system only repeats its existing patterns without variance, it eventually lacks the external pressure needed to trigger adaptation. Continuous stability can lead to a state where personal evolution becomes secondary to maintaining the status quo. The eclipse serves as a hard structural stop to that continuous rhythm. Pop culture often frames these celestial events with fatalism, treating them as signs of inevitable disaster. Within this esoteric system, however, they are deliberate, necessary pauses rather than cosmic punishments. An archetypal framework requires this kind of built-in override switch. Without it, behavioral loops would repeat indefinitely, reinforcing patterns that may no longer serve the individual. During an eclipse, the emanation of luminary light is physically and symbolically severed. Smooth connections are abruptly suspended. This creates immediate pressure. Our internal emotional weather loses its standard venting mechanism, forcing energy to build up. That sudden accumulation of tension provides the exact catalyst required to physically break through those ingrained, stagnant behaviors. Eclipses do not happen randomly in the sky. They occur at highly specific coordinates where the orbital paths of the sun and the moon intersect. These intersections are known as the lunar nodes, existing as two opposing mathematical points, dictating where eclipses inevitably take place. Symbolically, these nodes act as threshold gateways. One anchors past patterns, the other points toward a required future trajectory. When planetary energy clusters near these nodes during an eclipse, outward action becomes restricted. The avenues we use to exert our will are temporarily blocked. Within this system, each house or section of the chart governs a specific area of life, like communication or home. When an eclipse obscures the luminaries, the usual energetic feedback for these sectors is cut off, leaving a temporary void where we expect clear direction. Crossing this axis strips away normal coping mechanisms, demanding a mandatory confrontation with the unexamined forces operating just below our conscious awareness. This brings us to the absolute peak of the entire eclipse cycle, the intense period of total, absolute concealment. This space is often called the fertile void. It is a necessary phase of not knowing, where conscious logic gives way to deep shadow exploration. During this critical window, outward momentum pauses. The work here requires dismantling outdated belief systems in the dark, rather than attempting to build anything new in the light. The true weight of this concealment phase is psychological. It functions as an internal reset mechanism, forcing inner calibration rather than an outward physical event. Eventually, the celestial bodies continue their steady transit, and the physical and symbolic light finally returns to the system. Information and shadows carefully examined in the dark are suddenly exposed to the conscious mind. What was obscured becomes glaringly visible. As the planetary bodies move beyond the critical degree of the aspect, the geometric tension of the square softens. The pressure built up during the concealment phase begins to dissipate. As this light washes over the natal chart, it illuminates pathways and opportunities that were previously hidden by the old architectural patterns. The after state differs from the before state. The baseline for the individual has recalibrated around the new information revealed by the return of light. This moment of revelation is not a final destination. It serves to unveil a required new trajectory for personal evolution. We can take this three-part cosmic framework, interruption, concealment, and revelation, and map it directly onto our daily emotional routines. Following a reset, our approaches to relationships, creativity, and personal discipline must be deliberately rewritten to align with this shifted geometry. These celestial alignments do not deterministically dictate our fate. They simply provide archetypal patterns, a blueprint of potentials we can choose to engage with. Ultimately, astrology operates as a symbolic language, giving us a precise vocabulary to consciously navigate our own psychological evolution.